Hello everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and welcome back to another Aftertalk. Today we're going to be talking about what happened in June with Formula 1. So, I legit just made this because I forgot. Then again, it was pretty low, pretty short times. Because the moment that I would have the time to do this, it will have already been another race in July. So that's not fun. But anyway, what happened in June? What are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to be talking about what happened during the Canadian Grand Prix, what happened during the Spanish Grand Prix, and what happened in the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spanish and Austrian Grand Prix are part of a triple header. The next one is next week. The last bit of the triple header is next week. I'm going to be showing you guys some photos. One of them is kind of disappointing to see, or upsetting to see, and the other one is amazing to see because, well, it looks cool, like an action photo. We're going to have a look at the current driver standings and the current constructor standings, and then we're going to be talking about where we're going to go next week. So, Canadian Grand Prix. I'm so sorry that the picture is bad quality. I basically had to copy it from Google. Because I wasn't able to download this one via the PC. So, this is the Canadian racetrack. It is also well known as Gilles de Villeneuve racetrack. Because, well, Gilles Villeneuve was Canadian. There are two DRS zones, and 14 turns. Turn 14, the wall there is called the Wall of Champions. No one hit it severely, just a small kiss with the wall. So no champions were... Actually, there are more. Oh, there are 3 DRS zones. I'm sorry. There are 3 DRS zones, but 2 detection zones. Because, well, they're so short after each other. So yeah. Basically, the first one is between 7 and 8. Second one is between 12 and 13, and then between 14 and turn 1. Well, in June, if you live in Canada, you would know that the weather in June is unpredictable. It's like autumn here in the Netherlands and the UK. It's kind of like that. You don't know what's going to come your way. I mean, I still don't know what's going to come my way tomorrow. And because of that, FP1 fell in the water. Quite literally, actually. Almost no cars were on track. Max had issues in FP2, which caused him to sit out the remainder of that. Then we went to qualifying, and both the Willies... I once heard that, and now I keep saying it. Both the Willies were through to Q2, which was the first time that has happened, but they didn't make it to Q3. One of them did, though. That was Alex Albon. Both Ferraris were out in Q2. That is not what you see very often. And, well, it was not fun either. What was fun, however... George and Max Verstappen drove the exact same lap time, which is a perfectly round number, and I am satisfied. Okay, it was so satisfying to see that. Just a 1 minute 12.000. That's an identical lap time. It has happened in the past that people have driven the same exact lap time. It has happened that it was 3 people. One of them was Schumacher, and the other was Villeneuve, and then the other guy, I can't remember. If you remember who that guy was, let me know in the comments down below. Then we went to the race, and Logan Sargent retired. He suffered a crash, and then he immediately got lapped. Yeah, that was disappointing. He got away, and then he had to get to the side because blue flags. Then Charles Leclerc retired. He had issues I can't exactly remember because I didn't write it down. Perez hit the wall. He was able to make it back to the pits and retired via there, but the FIA was not so happy with that. Sainz spun and knocked Albon out of the race. Both of them retired. Because of all this chaos, Alpine both finished into the points. Both those drivers finished into the points, which is good for them. Also, Daniel Ricciardo was in the points. Perez was hit with a post-race penalty, and this penalty would affect his next race. It was a grid drop, or grid penalty. The podium was Max, Lando and George, and throughout the race they continuously swapped places. It started off with George leading the race, then Lando, then the safety car came too late, and then Max took the lead, and then so on and so on. Or the safety car came late in the race after that. Anyway, Spain. We all know this beloved track if you watch MotoGP or other classes. This is a much beloved track. It's actually one that I knew before going into Formula 1. Because I knew this one from MotoGP. Yay. It's actually one of the tracks I want to visit. It's a nice track. I love it. There was a fire at the McLaren hospitality building. Luckily, no one was injured. Everyone was out in time. But a couple of people did go to the med center to get checked up. They were fine. It was mostly the fire marshals who had breathed in some of the smoke. But they were fine, I think. There were 2 drivers reprimanded after FP3, and those are Stroll and Leclerc. They were impeding. Zhou Guanyu made his first Q2 appearance, which he hasn't done before. That's why it says it's his first. But this is good for Sauber. Lando Norris got pole. He deserves that one. It's only his second pole. This time it wasn't raining during the race. Luckily. It was raining for the Formula 2 people at some point. Max won the race though. So yeah. George Russell made one amazing move going into turn 1. If you haven't seen that one, go ahead, watch the highlight video on the Formula 1 YouTube channel. I will link it in the description down below. That move, you will think that it's that they're gonna crash. You're gonna think that if you watch it. Like, you think that they're gonna crash, but they don't. Like, even with me telling you guys that he's gonna crash, that I thought it looks like they're gonna crash, but they didn't. Your heart still is gonna rate. Lewis Hamilton also got a podium there, and both Alpines got into points again, P9 and P10. And then the famous whale track. Oh no, wait, it's the Austrian Grand Prix. At some point I watched a video and someone drew the track of the Red Bull Ring as a whale. What represented the whale. He was supposed to draw the track. People were like, why did you draw a whale? And now I can never unsee it. I mean, look, there's the tail. There's the head, yeah? Now you guys cannot unsee it either. You're welcome. It was a sprint weekend. Yay. Fun times. Woo. Sargent was the only Williams in sprint qualifying too. He finally out-qualified his teammate. This is good for him. He's making progress. Let's hope that for the next couple of races, he can keep this up and not crash. McLaren took on the fight with Max. It was legit just Papaya versus Dutch. For real. I mean, both the McLarens were fighting Max, but they couldn't catch him. The front row was the same for sprint race front row. Max pole, Lando second. That was nice. Max and Lando had a massive fight near the end, which ended in tears. Let me explain. Lando retired and Max found guilty by the FIA. 10-second time penalty. What happened? Do you say? Well, they were fighting to the absolute max, and at some point, Lando kept saying like, "Oh, he's moving under braking. He's moving under braking," which is a rule stated by the FIA, nicknamed the Max Verstappen rule, because that's what Max used to do, and it had to stop. They made racing safer but not fun anymore. At some point, they collided. Max had a puncture, and then Lando turned in again on Max's rear tyre. They both limped back to the pits. Max was able to continue, but Lando had so much damage. You will see in the picture later why he had so much damage. I mean, he had the puncture too. But Max was found guilty by the FIA. My dad says racing incident. My dad really says just it's a racing incident, because they were both doing something wrong. You can't just point like, it's Max Verstappen, he's broken his own rule. Like, I would say racing incident too, but then again, what would happen? What would happen if this continues like this? Because of all of that chaos, George Russell was able to squeeze past and win the damn race. It's only his second win. Means still Britain who wins. Really. Ahead of Oscar Piastri and Carlos Sainz. Haas had one amazing race with P6 and P8. That's good. Max still finished, ahead of Perez, who didn't have damage. One thing worth noticing, or saying, Leclerc had damage in the first lap. Had to box change his front wing, and then they put him from medium tyres to the hard tyres, which was a terrible idea. It's always Ferrari with that terrible strategy. In the end, they kept telling Charles like, we can still finish in the points. We can finish in the points. You're doing great. He finished P11. No points. Miscalculation. But anyway, look at that. Now you can see that he got the damage. Or why he got the damage. I think he was driving too fast. And also this picture. Look at this. This looks straight out of an action movie. I love it. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into like the Max Verstappen and Lando Norris clash, because they're both my favorite drivers, and I just don't want to keep talking about it. The current driver standings. Max Verstappen still leads. Lando Norris climbed up a place. Leclerc still third. Ollie Behrman still has more points than both the Williams drivers. Yeah. And he is still ahead in the standings of both Alpine drivers. Worth mentions. I cannot talk. I'm kind of like good times with Scar. Like he sometimes can't speak too. But worth mentioning. During the Austrian Grand Prix weekend, it was also Formula 3 and Formula 2, and Ollie Behrman is in Formula 2. He won the sprint race and then had to retire in the feature race. Yay! I was very upset. But yeah. There are still 3 drivers who haven't scored points yet, and those are the Kick Sauber drivers and Logan Sargent. Well, let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. It's going to be a battle between Red Bull, Ferrari and McLaren. If Mercedes pick up a few more wins, or like good podiums together, then yes, they could potentially get into it. But it's only the top 3 that are going to be fighting, maybe top 4, and the rest is just going to fight for their own positions. Sauber needs to step up a bit, because if they want Audi to take over, or if Audi wants to take over, they have to perform. It's been said that if Sauber performs well enough this season, that Audi is going to take over the team. So yeah, apparently they've said to their drivers, like, don't perform well enough, we want to stay Kick Sauber and not Audi. Yeah. Or they just don't have the nice car, a better car. Which is kind of confusing, because Williams is like a few grams too heavy. The Williams is heavier than the Sauber, and yet the Williams is ahead in points of Sauber. It's funny to me. Well, where to next? The July. We're gonna go. This is actually this weekend. The Formula 1 Qatar Airways British Grand Prix, which every British racing fan has been looking forward to, and so have I, because, well, it's Britain. I love Silverstone. It's actually one of the tracks that I want to go to as well. I want to visit it, and it's just a nice track. It's legendary. It's the first of many. It's one of the OG 6 or 7. I can go and look that up real quick because I have that in the book. 1,000 Grand Prix. Let's go and look it up. You can probably hear me turn those pages. Where is it? Where is it? It's got to be somewhere. Should have looked it up beforehand, shouldn't I? It has to be somewhere near the back. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to look through every single one of these pages to find it. Is it here? No. Not here. Oh, Great Britain had 41 teams in the entire history. It's insane. One was there, I think. One was there. One was there. It was there somewhere. It's for real just part of it somewhere. But I know that it's one first. Wait, I have this one. Yeah, here. 1950 May 13th. The winner was Giuseppe Farina in an Alfa Romeo. Or Giuseppe. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, Great Britain was first official race on the championship calendar. So yeah, now you know. Sorry for the long wait. Then we're going to go to the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're going to take like a few weeks break. Like 2 max. Maybe 1. No, 2. I'm going to take 2 weeks break. Yeah, 2 weeks. No, 1. 1 week break. I'm looking at my calendar, but there's so many things in the way. And then the week after that, we have the Rolex Belgium Grand Prix. Yeah, you would think, like, where's the summer break? Well, it's after that. Between Belgium and the Netherlands, the Dutch Grand Prix, it is summer break. One thing worth mentioning, in August, it's just gonna be about Zandvoort. So I am going to be giving a bit of a history lesson about Zandvoort after it, because otherwise the video would just be very short. So I'll just give a little history lesson about Zandvoort, perhaps. Like the last winners, the last pole positions, you know? But anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please hit the like button and also consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any other video. But that is it from me for now, and I shall see you guys in another video. Goodbye!